Hey guys, I want to talk about a movie, another Nickelodeon movie. And if you don't know what it is, it's kind of obvious. It's Batman. Batman versus Mutant Teenage Mutant Turtles. Or TMT, I don't really care. Teenage Mutant Turtles. This movie is quite the weirdest movie, I gotta say. This movie, well, for starters, it's a great movie, but that's not it. This movie is weird. There's many things that's weird about it, and things I find weird. One, the movie itself, it it doesn't. It's a mature movie. Let's just say that the movie has murder, killing, transformations, uh, and bone breaking, and a lot of violence that you wouldn't expect from another Nickelodeon movie. I talked about Dora the Explorer and how they had guns. This movie is weird. I think it's quite weird because this is one of the Batman movies. If it's not, like when a Batman does a crossover, you usually don't get a crossover where it's this violent, and it's weird because most of Batman's crossovers usually involve like comedic or generally just like beating up. This one just straight up had beheading, literal stabs through the chest, and you also had really good like moments where one of the turtles get their arm like broken with a leg smash, or you have one. You even get the imagery of them dying and then whizzing away in the corpse. This movie is quite really great, and I think it's something you should definitely watch for sure. You should watch it and then think how great this movie is. But there's not where there's greatness, there are flaws. Too many characters were introduced near the end of the movie. Characters that I thought was really weird. They were pretty much just all Batman characters or villains. Pretty much the Joker was in it. He didn't play a major role. He played a major role as giving an ingredient, and then and then for some reason you pretty much get the furry villains, and you pretty much saw how they are when they're furries. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. And then they get defeated somewhat easily. A lot of them got easily defeated, in a sense that some of them didn't get defeated easily. They got, well, pretty much just gave a struggle, and then they pretty much gone from there. And then they go to the final battle. Well, before that, they had that third act where they forced going like, oh, you can't follow orders, and then you pretty much have them go like, oh, we can't, but we're still family, and Batman's like, yeah, family. Then you have the final act. You have the turtle murder a ninja. Yes, that's a scene that happens, and then they pretty much stop it. The whole plan was pretty much making the whole Gotham City furries, and then the whole point of Shredder helping was to gain the Lazarus Pit, which he never got, and then at the end he becomes a Joker. Overall, this movie is pretty great in many aspects. The one thing I feel like was really weird was pretty much choosing the timeline where Batman got raped. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's different timelines in the Batman series. Some where you pretty much have where Batman. Well, there's okay in the comic series where they're pretty much at this this Batman that's taking place from the comic pretty much has Robin as a son. And I thought it was weird because I was like, there's no way that this Robin would be the Robin from that timeline because this is the timeline where Batman got raped. Yes. And he had birth, Robin. It's weird because he never referenced Arzan Ghul as uncle, and he calls Batman dad 2 times, and 2 or 3 times, and I thought that's really weird. The Ninja Turtle, I don't know what timeline they're from. I guess one thing is for sure, they're not from the newer one because they're they look way different. Even though you could tell who's who, and they had different proportions. And you also have the weird. The style of the animation was good, but it was kind of weird for the turtles to be looking all weird, like for some reason. One thing I will say is how this is a weird scenario or phase through it. Like when you pretty much wouldn't tell that this was gonna be a violent movie and stuff, but I guess I overall I think that this is pretty much one of the greatest action slash crossover for Batman. There's many others. I think I would think that this is probably the best in the sense that this had a lot going for it. It had more things than I expected. The violence was something I was shocked about. The characters mix well together. I guess the only character I didn't really talk about was like Batgirl, but I guess she's just there. The characters. So you pretty much had the characters, the city. You have pretty much the whole. You had a lot of things going for it. Only problem I had was Arkham Asylum being pretty much like a, a three bed, like 4 or 5 stories high, and then it's like pretty small. That was probably the only thing I thought was weird. I guess that was the it made sense because they really didn't put that much focus onto the villain, the his side villains. Overall, this movie's probably it's really great. I think it's probably the best movie I've seen all year. If I were to rate worst and best movie, I guess this would be it. But it's not a movie release. It's DVD. I don't know why the hell they keep doing this, even though this is like a great movie. But whatever. If I have to rate what will be the best and greatest, it would probably be Batman versus TNT and Lion King and Dark Phoenix. Those two were probably the worst. They weren't. They were, I just pretty much say how I was disgusted with them. But this movie, for not a movie release movie, like theater wise, it's probably the best I've seen all year. I'm gonna just give it 9 out of 10. All right, bye.